Good morning, Singapore. It's Glenn, FD, and Shaun. And with us this morning is Dr. Geraldine Tan from the Therapy Room because it's Therapy Tuesday. Good morning, Jerry.
Good morning from a very rainy Orchard Road.
Awesome.
We are live on Facebook, and if you're watching, you can see the beautiful view behind Jerry.
I feel like Vanna White suddenly.
And also the beautiful view that is Dr. Jerry.
Yes, of course.
Well done,
Gotta save you all.
Oh,
Shaun.
Sean.
Yes,
In a school
lovely.
uniform.
Coffee, tea.
It is raining heavily by the looks of it, Jerry.
Yes.
Where you're at,
Yes.
where you're at, the Orchard
It is.
area.
It's all dark skies.
Nice. It's going to be a nice cool day.
But
One
as
more
I
cool
was
day.
mentioning earlier on, Jerry loves the rain. And I learned this from Jerry because I follow her on Facebook. You know, if you love the rain, you are a pluviophile, right?
Yes. Yes, that's right.
Where do they
So-
come up with these names?
I don't know,
A
but
few-
a friend taught me that, so I've been using it ever since.
A pluviophile.
And of course, if you like the sun, then you're a heliophile.
Okay.
Helio. As in-
Okay. If I like the rain, I'm wet. If I like the sun, I'm hot. Finish. Easier.
FD, go back to the kampong you crawled out from. You're trying to learn something here.
Okay, Jerry. Today we're talking about settling your child into school.
Yes, and many little ones and sec ones and the JC hasn't gone in yet. So
No.
yeah, so the little ones have gone back to school.
I can
and
see-
it's very exciting.
I can see where perhaps primary one would be a problem, but you mentioned secondary one as well. Is it a big issue getting into secondary school, starting secondary school?
Yep. So a lot of parents don't realize that. But since we're on it, right? So a lot of times parents think, oh, you're big boy, big girl already, you can go to school on your own. But many people or many parents forget that once they graduate from P6, in P6, they are the kokos and the tetes, the big brother and big sister.
Right.
Suddenly they go into secondary school, they are at the bottom of the packing list. They are the youngest of either 6 years, another 6 years, or the 4 years. Yeah, and it's a transition for them, and a lot of times this transition is actually more difficult because you lose friends, but you're more aware. So when you go from K2 to P1, the emotions are not as stark. But when you go from P6 to Sec 1, you lose your friends, you lose a familiar environment, you start to wonder how you'll be perceived by the other friends. So it's very interesting because a lot of children go in there and they feel miserable. They feel they've lost everything.
So today's session is for you to train the parents. Parents who are
It's for
listening in right
parents
now.
to be aware.
Right.
Yeah, for
Okay.
parents to be aware.
That's great.
So other than losing that familiar environment and losing friends, what else would scare kids going to school?
The number of subjects has exploded from P6 to Sec 1. From 4 to 7 or 8 subjects, it's amazing.
Sometimes 9 subjects even. So I guess the stage is yours today, Jerry. I mean, you've got to talk to the parents.
To the parents, yeah.
Right? I mean, I'm not a parent, so, I will never be able to relate to this.
You've gone to school.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
We can only
So
share
you-
our experiences.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, but basically, what you're here for today is to teach the parent of. Okay, I mean, I'm sure there are parents who have kids who are, of primary school, going age
Yeah.
and secondary, and as you mentioned earlier on, even university, right? So, what would you like to say to all of them?
Well, let's start with the little ones first, because you were looking at the P1s, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this year is quite an interesting year, and you all were discussing like, so how would the little ones cope? And we were looking at buddy system. So many
Yeah.
schools now have a buddy system with the P4s or P5s budding up with the P1s. So it's really cute that the older one will look after the younger one and teach them the ropes, going to the canteen to buy food, where are the classrooms. And it's very sweet when they write a note to each other after that. Super cute. And I think FD was asking about, how to buy food from the canteen.
Yeah.
Is that?
No, but no, it's not that. We were told that some schools actually cater food and recess is done in class.
Because there's no more buddy
Right.
systems now.
Because some schools don't have a buddy system anymore.
Right. Yeah, so for the schools that cater, they probably have a monthly sort of arrangement with the parent. So it's like how you pay for the school bus, you pay for the canteen
Yeah.
food to be delivered
Yeah.
to the classroom.
Yeah, must be.
But then everything is cashless and contactless now.
Just
Do you
great.
know that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
They have this cute little thing that posts POSB, the smart buddy watches,
Okay.
where
Oh.
you actually you link it to your savings account or their savings account, and they can actually tap at each store and even their bookstore. Super cute.
I love these
Yeah.
innovations,
Yeah,
Amazing.
they're young.
So proud of Singapore, man. I am.
No, I think it's a great idea. I really do.
That means your parents have to, or the parents have to pay for the kids' monthly food during recess. Then if your parents want to punish you and say, I don't pay for your food during this month, you can order Food Panda or Deliveroo to school. Right.
I suppose
Something for the kids to
that
think about.
is thank goodness no kids are listening in now. They're all in
rewatch
school,
this.
Sean.
You can rewatch this.
I don't think
Oh,
schools are going to allow food panda delivery for the kids, Sean.
I don't think so, yes. Okay, go on, Jerry. Yeah.
Okay, so why now, right? Because if we wanted to take the topic, we should have taken it before. But before we were not, we were on leave for
Yes,
2 weeks, so
yeah.
we didn't prepare the children. So now it's good because we get to see the school environment. We can fill the gaps.
Okay.
And see what the children actually need. Now, I'm going to hit one very big topic that parents always ask. Separation anxiety.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
important.
Yeah, so a lot of parents will ask, but my child is very anxious. But for most parents, right, I will ask them back, are you anxious or is your child anxious?
Exactly.
Because when I speak with them, they go, oh, but what if they don't know where the toilet is? But what if, they are not allowed to go, to drink water in class? And I go like, you've got 1,000,001 questions, but you have to trust the system, right? But the parents are so anxious that the children feel the anxiety of the parents. So then the children get anxious.
Actually, I don't blame the parents. If I were a parent, I think I would be more anxious than the kid, because kids at that age they're usually fearless. In an environment, at least they're more fearless than the parents. The parents tend to think a lot. Okay, we'll continue this conversation live on Facebook. In the meantime, here's Jennifer Page with Crush on 1FM 91.3.
It's very interesting that you said that, Jerry, because Vivian has come onto our Facebook page and said, I have a primary one, a secondary one, and a JC one student this year.
Perfect.
Trifecta, man.
And I believe that if the parents are chilled, the child will be chilled. So are you saying that this anxiety from the parent is transferred to the child?
Yeah, your children are very close to you. So if you feel happy, sad, scared, mad, the children will actually feel it. Yeah. So parents, if you know that you're anxious, do something about it, right? Ask yourself what makes you so anxious. And sometimes it's time to let the little child or your teen go and explore the world a little bit on their own. Yeah. So, but that's not to say that separation anxiety is not real. So that's normal worry. Parental worry. There's normal worry. And there's also the disorder. That means separation anxiety that really cripples. So those we need to deal with very carefully. So how do we identify that? You have your children complaining about stomach aches, headaches, throwing up their breakfast. They can't eat anything in the morning. They wear their uniform and then suddenly they just break down, they cry, they melt down. And it's not that they don't want to go, they really can't bear the thought of going to the school or to any other place, especially the school, right? They're worried about being separated from the main caregiver, so maybe separated from the parent or the mom. Nightmares, so they have nightmares about it. Yeah. So these would be things that we would look out for, and then please work with the school and then work with a professional to try and ease the child's anxiety, because that is a real anxiety.
Sometimes these things start off with a bad experience in school.
In school,
like for
yeah, I
example,
was about
first
to
day the
say.
kid goes to school, and maybe a teacher is or someone could be even one of the older students. They could be mean to the child or something like that, and that could spark the start of being anxious, and not wanting to go to school. You know what I mean? So. I think all the educators and all the newer educators, perhaps maybe who are in primary school, should take that, into consideration, and just be nice to all these children when they first go to school.
Slightly different there, Glenn, because what you have just described is actually school refusal.
Okay.
Yeah, so school refusal. The child refuses to go to school because of, it could be something happened. It could
Right.
be, difficulty in the studies or the academic part of it. Separation anxiety is the fear of the child separating from the caregiver.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to leave my parent.
So it's not that I don't want to go to school, I just can't be without mummy.
Right.
Right. Okay.
So
Yeah.
whose fault is this?
Oh, there's no fault.
Maybe it's the parents' fault. Maybe the
Caregiver.
the caregiver rather. Maybe the caregiver all this time has just been
Coddling.
Molly coddling the child.
mollycoddling the child. That's right. That could be
okay.
it.
Yeah,
Well-
that's what I thought.
It could be. That means perhaps the sense of safety is very strong with the caregiver, and the sense of danger, beyond the caregiver is very real to the child. So it could happen that way. So then we need to teach the child, because if not, then the child will not be able to go anywhere else and will not be able to be separated from the parent.
So someone who say has a kid going into primary school, say 2 years from now, should they start at this point, 4, 5 years old, 5.5, and start to teach this child a degree of independence so that the child doesn't experience this anxiety when they go to school?
Well, many of our Singaporean parents would have put them into K1, K2 nursery.
Yeah.
So it's a good time to already start from there. Yeah.
Why is it we never went through all these problems when we were younger,
Yeah.
Jerry? Now
Yeah.
it's like, these kids seem to have so many issues.
Yeah, Why
You
is it
just have
that
different issues, lah.
no? But why do kids today, have separation anxiety? Like I remember when I was a kid, right? I didn't like school, and I was a really stupid kid. I would hobble into my parents' bedroom at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'd be holding my knee, swearing blind I had a headache.
It's that bad now. You affected your knee.
Yeah, I had a headache and I'd be holding my knee. And my parents never commented about, look, you're telling a lie because you're holding your knee. They just went, look, you just need to be strong and go.
Exactly.
Just be strong and go.
There, you see, for Shaun, his father gave him a slap. See,
Yeah.
and everything was settled.
Don't want to go to school? Bam. Okay, I'm in school now.
Yeah. But why is it that today kids are so...
Mollycoddled.
Yeah, I don't want to say soft, but you know what I mean? They don't seem as strong as we were.
Okay, you answer the question on air.
Okay.
On 1FM 91.3 Good Times Greatest Hits. We're also live on Facebook right now with Dr. Geraldine Tan from the therapy room. FD has a question about why children are such weaklings
Well,
these days.
I'm riding off what Glenn said. We never, the three of us sitting here, Shaun, Glenn, and myself, never went through this sort of thing. Why are kids today like this?
Yeah, I mean, if we were playing up or whatever, parents would just kick us one time or just slap us or whatever.
Yeah,
and then...
Freddie Wong has come up onto our Facebook page and said kids are like cotton wool. Why? Are they overprotected these days?
Well, we shall not step on any parents' toes, but I think the expressions, right? I mean, how the parents, modern parents express to their children their affection is very different, right? So for Shaun, it's like your parents would just say, go to school, I don't want to have anything, I don't want to hear anything. But now the parents would not do that. They would sit with you, they would rationalize with you, they would attempt to spend time to explain, and they're very concerned whether they're doing it right or wrong. So they will ask a lot of questions about it. So I think it's a different way that they express. So the separation anxiety disorder is a disorder. So I'm looking at a very small percentage
right.
of children. So it doesn't, take up the majority. But it's always an exciting process for parents when your child goes into primary one. It's like, oh, this is another developmental stage. Secondary one is another developmental stage. So each stage brings its own excitement. So that's where, all of us feel the excitement, for the child and the parent.
We can understand a primary school kid, and thanks for clarifying that, it's a small group of people because it's a disorder, as you mentioned. So even at secondary school level, we're talking about a small group who may have this disorder, right? Because one would think, like, at secondary school level, damn it, you better be independent now.
Yeah.
Sec 1 though.
Yes, they have different issues. But for the young ones, right, can I just say, parents, please keep your goodbyes short. So this one, this is my bugbear. Every time I see parents go, oh, bye-bye, I love you, mwah, and then, must hug, and for eternity, they won't let the child go. Then the child feels, oh no, my parent, it cannot let me go. Oh, please just say goodbye and let the child go in. The child is going to enjoy himself or herself.
Dr. Jerry, would one potential exercise, I think I went through this when I was a kid, that's why it helped me gain independence quite early, was that my mom used to send me downstairs to buy things from the supermarket or from the coffee shop by myself as a kid. Right, and I will always mix things up. I get the wrong order, buy the wrong things, come back crying, not enough money. But that experience has taught me, like, you are okay to go out on your own. Like, I've got lost many, many times, in the back of police cars one time.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, but it's trial and error. Like, you try, you go outside, I ask you to go downstairs, you end up in Bedok, that kind of thing. And then, like, the next day, police will come. Is this your kid?
I think Singapore as a society needs to embrace that our little children can go out. I mean, Singapore is relatively safe, and I want it to be more safer for little children to go out. Similar to in Japan, where the little children can, walk out, and if they need any help, the adults will help them. And primary school children walk about 2 kilometers to school, and the parents do not actually fetch them. So the older children looks after the younger ones as they wear that bright vests, and they go to school together with, like a little herd. It's very cute to see them. So in fact, one of my friends is in Japan right now, and his little girl just started school, and they walk 2 kilometers to school.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
on their own, just the little ones. No escort, no adults accompanying them.
And they're
Right.
crossing roads and things like that.
Yep.
with the older children.
I suppose with the older children, yeah. Wow, that is really very interesting.
I would never allow my kid out
you
like
see?
that. No way. No way.
Why?
Why?
Why? Yeah, why?
I don't want them to go missing. I mean, sometimes kids go missing. I read reports and all that.
So in your mind, you see Singapore is still not safe enough, you
No,
see?
not
Yeah.
even here. I won't let my kids out of the house alone. As in my young
At
kid.
what age would you allow them out alone?
21.
That's why cotton wool lah. Because parents like you.
Wow, Jerry, 21, then you can go out alone.
Okay, so
ankle
this
monitor.
is a photo from from my friends,
Oh, wow.
the little ones.
Okay.
So these are the little ones that are going to school on their own. Yeah.
Wow.
2 kilometers is a long way to walk
That's
to
a
school.
long way to walk to
If
school.
you
for a
really,
little
really
one.
love your kid,
So this is
your
the
kid
map.
won't be out there like that. No.
This
Yeah.
is the map that they have to walk.
Right.
Wow.
The distance.
Wow.
Yeah. So exciting. I was really proud.
But you wouldn't. I bet you
Would you let your
allow-
kids do it?
You wouldn't let your kids do it, Jerry. I'm sure.
Okay. So
Because in
so
many ways,
from-
you and I are the same. I can feel that.
I am quite a gassy mom. I'm quite a scaredy cat. You're right. But I was very proud of myself because in P3 or P4, I told my little boy take the train from school and come to mommy's office. So daddy was the one that was like, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" And I was like, "No, trust him." And that little boy appeared on the dot because we timed, right? He appeared on the dot at the door, and all the colleagues, right, were on standby, like, "Hey, watch out for him." Yeah, so it was very sweet, and such a proud moment also.
I'm sure.
I'm sure.
We are talking to Dr. Geraldine Tan from the therapy room. It's 8:23.
1FM time check by
And we're back.
Getting back to this separation problem, Jerry. How do parents let go? How do parents let go?
I mean, the parents need to tell themselves that your little child has grown up, right? Yeah. And if they don't learn certain things. So again, I think Singaporean parents are easier to kind of teach because when you say these are the steps, they need to know how to buy their own food. They need to know how to look for the buses on their own. So don't go asking the teachers to bring them to the bus, perhaps, right? Or, advising the teachers. Or maybe can you help the child write the homework in the book? Because the teachers know how to teach your children to be independent. And, kudos to all the teachers who manage the little ones and show them little tips and tricks to be independent. So trust your teachers also.
Just thinking, the teachers who should be teaching kids how to be a little bit more independent and brave are the kindergarten teachers, K1 and K2.
Oh,
so
yeah.
that by the time they hit primary 1, they're a little bit more independent. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I agree. It starts there. But taking a step from where Glenn went, we've got this whole kindergarten K1 K2 situation, and yet there are still problems when kids go into primary one. Is socializing still a problem when they hit primary one?
Yeah, so when they are in primary one from kindy, right, the classes are much smaller and the teachers play a more dominant role in facilitating, group activities and things like that. When they go into primary one, suddenly their world explodes. So
Yeah.
there's a whole lot of students. There are 40 children in the class. There are so many other classes that they have to deal with.
Right.
There are so many teachers. So in kindergarten, they probably only have 2 or 3 teachers. Suddenly, every subject has a different teacher. Music teacher, PE teacher. The subject teachers, mother tongue teachers, and I don't know what other teachers there are. And they have to learn all those, so it is very scary for them. So these children need to familiarize themselves with a whole new system and a whole different environment.
Right. In the kindergarten, they should have mock-up primary school classes. Get it?
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
Yes. To prepare them
me-
even better. To prepare them for their first day in a primary school, in a classroom
I like that idea.
environment. Okay, hold on. We're going back on air.
Stand by.
We're with Dr. Geraldine Tan from the therapy room. Good morning, Jerry.
Morning again.
So we were
Yes,
talking
and-
about socializing.
Yes, and I like Glenn's idea about the mock-up. So they should have at least one day where they go into the primary school, sit with the big brothers and sisters for like maybe an hour or so to experience how that whole setup is. It's a good idea. You should, move the idea to MOE.
I think so, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's
that's
like a day. Okay, so maybe not a mock-up within the kindergarten, but even kindergarten
field
kids, they go for like an excursion or something like that. And towards the end, right,
K2 onwards.
of K2, the school could plan a trip to bring them to a primary school.
So
Oh,
that they can experience it.
Yeah.
That's very
There
good.
are many kindergartens that have that arrangement.
Oh,
Yeah,
But
and
not
many
all, ah.
I'm not sure whether all of them have, but I do know some of them in some of the primary schools that host the little kindy kids. Yeah. So yes, they do have a day that a little excursion.
Right.
Yeah.
At least, so they know what to expect.
yeah, I think that's a brilliant idea. And I know we've got a couple of people from the Ministry of Education that are listening, so maybe this should be part of every kindergarten's curriculum.
I think so.
Yeah,
Why not?
Yeah.
good idea.
True. But it's still that little K2 mindset. When they go into P1, sometimes they're very lost. So we need to teach the children, how to ask questions or how to introduce themselves. So strange, but in P1, there are still so many people or so many children that don't know how to introduce themselves. And we would think, I often wonder why that is the case, because we will ask little ones, oh, what's your name? How old are you? Where are you from? And these would be familiar questions for them to then ask their little friends. But sometimes they don't know how to translate that into different environments. So this is something that, parents can just remind the children to do that.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy for a kid.
I had a conversation with a mother last night over dinner, and here's her thought on what you just spoke about. She has a child who, today, if she has guests in the house and the child's doing homework, and the child's finished homework and wants to come out and say goodnight to mummy, the child will go round and introduce himself to the guests.
All right.
Say goodnight to mummy, say goodnight to all the guests, and leave. And she puts it down to one thing: no phone, no tablet. The child is forced to communicate. Because her child is in primary 5 and only gets a phone if he is going out on his own. Otherwise, he has no phone.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. And this is primary 5, yeah? and it's forced the child to learn how to communicate because they don't run into this technology hideaway.
Did you hear what you just said? Force the child.
Yeah,
but these days you can't force the child.
Yeah.
Well, okay, these are
Right,
words I'm using.
Jerry.
But is that
You're not
could that be
supposed to
one
force
of
the
the
child.
problems why children can't communicate these days?
It's only one part of the problem, I think. Yeah, because I think the children need to be taught. Yeah, you and I also need to be taught what to do. Let's say we go into a new environment, where, who to speak to or what to ask certain people. Yeah, so all these, you need to create that awareness, and some children are just not aware. But I agree with you on the electronic addiction part of things, and this can be another topic for another day.
Yeah.
But that is a very real problem where all their noses are stuck on their screens, literally, and they are oblivious to the world around them. So that is quite a big issue.
Right. We are with Dr. Geraldine Tan from the therapy room. Up next, Right Said Fred. I'm Too Sexy on 1FM 91.3. We are live on Facebook.
I'm too sexy.
So, Jerry, here's a question. I mean, I've gone through this first day of primary school and stuff as a parent. I've done it 4 times. And here's the one question that I never had an opportunity to ask anybody. And now you're here, so I'm going to ask you. The kid's been in school for a few days now. I want to know how the child feels. I want to know what the child feels about school, what the child feels about their classmates, the experience. What questions should I be asking? How do I ask these questions?
Yes. Can I start with please don't ask, how is school?
Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
You
like
see?
a standard one, right?
Yeah, that's what because I did that every day. So how was school today?
Yeah.
It's all right, lah.
But it's a natural
It's
it's a
all right,
natural
lor.
question though, right, Jerry?
Yeah, but how school is too big, too broad, and the child go, okay, lor.
Yeah, exactly. That's always the answer.
And it's very annoying for the parent who then says, every day I put in effort to ask you the question and you're not answering the question. So the one day the teen said to me, they need to ask the right question and I would talk. And I go like, okay.
True.
So,
Same for dating. Same for dating. When you're dating and you are talking to somebody new, you don't ask them like, "Oh, how was work today?" You gotta ask them, "What's the best part about your
Day.
day, or what the best thing that happened during work, or any drama happened, that kind of thing."
Yep. True. And for those that little ones, or even the secondary school kids that have just gone into school, or even, P3 they change classes, P5 they change classes. There's always changes every 2 years. Okay, so ask, how many friends do you have? How many classmates are in your class? Even down to what is your class register number? Everything is a story, and then, I'll get to know the teachers. What are your teachers? What are their names like? You never know when you need those information. So be as specific as possible. And when you start asking specific questions, what your children are hearing is that, oh, mom and dad are being very engaged in my life. So they're more inclined to tell you more because you are now asking them about specific areas rather than how's school. It's very flippant to them. And it's too broad. They can wrap around. It can be also, what do you do on the school bus for the primary school children? And then for the teens, if you've started to ask them how's the bus ride, they will tell you about the train ride, or they'll tell you about their public transport rides.
So ask
So it's very
specific
exciting.
questions, yeah.
Yeah, and I was asking about my son who just went into Sec 1, about his teachers. And this is what he said. I really wanted to share with everyone. This is so funny. I like my science teacher. So I thought, whoa, boys' school must be hormones, teens. Must be the teacher very pretty, right? Then he went, no, actually she's pregnant. I was like, oh, where is that going, Then he said this and I almost fainted. At least she won't get angry every other month. Then I was like,
Wow.
which
Sec one,
teacher
eh?
gets angry every other month, or is it mommy? And he just smiled and
That's cute. That's cute.
oh my god,
Never expected you to share that. But that's cute.
that was classic. That was really classic. I was like, oh my god. So I'm sharing it because I want parents to enjoy what I enjoy. I mean, if it was a subtle complaint about mommy being annoying every month, then I take it, but it's just one of those things that you never expect come out of your child's mouth. But it was such a delightful conversation. I was shocked, really, when he shared that. Yeah.
That is just hilarious. What kids know that you think they don't know.
Well, teachers are humans; they get cranky too. So
So funny.
But yeah, so yeah, the primary school kids know a lot more than we think they know. So parents, be careful what you tell them.
They are little sponges after all, right?
Yes,
They are.
yes. So it was quite funny. I couldn't help but share this. Yeah. Classic.
Absolutely classic.
Any last questions, FD? Since you being the parent, I mean, the two of you are parents. You should be an expert parent already by now, FD.
Yeah, but when I deal with Jerry, there's so much I still learn. There's so much I still learn. This is why I think it's so amazing. Shaun, did you have a question that you were going to...
no, just saying there's a few comments on our Facebook page. A lot of them are asking quite good questions.
Okay,
too.
good. Let's hit Jerry with all the questions that we have on our Facebook page.
Okay, the first one I see is wait. Why is it so wrong to let the kids use a tablet if we're adults? We need one moment of peace while eating. Please go ahead and let them use it. Just set rules and timings and where they can use the tablet. That's all.
To be fair, that was FD's idea.
FD.
To be fair.
No, because this is something I did with my kids as well. My kids didn't have tablets, so their go-to if I needed peace was read a book.
Okay.
I didn't give them tablets to play with. I wanted them to read.
Yeah.
Because if they're reading the right books, it's enhancing their language skills, their writing skills. It all gets enhanced. So
Right.
as much as they're enjoying a good book, they're actually learning without realizing that they're learning.
Yeah. But I mean, that comment there from that person, I mean,
Yeah.
basically, I mean, to me, sounds like it's a way for them to get peace.
It is.
For them to get peace, and they basically don't care. I mean, what we were saying earlier on about
Communication skills.
how these things could be the reason why kids don't communicate as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They just
Yeah.
want their time to themselves.
Yeah.
Because the kids are, to them, a pain in the ass. I mean, that's what I'm reading.
Okay, let's deal with this on
Okay,
air.
hold
Stand
on.
by in 3, 2.
This hits. We are with Dr. Geraldine Tan from the therapy room. Good morning, Jerry.
Morning. And we had a question, but I was wondering whether that would be parked more for another day, discussing
Yeah.
about electronic addictions or, just using the devices.
Yeah.
Right. And whether or not you should be taking that away, during family time.
I just have one statement and one more question for Jerry. The statement being, don't underestimate your child. Jerry may disagree, she may agree. Once you give your child a piece of electronic equipment to give you peace, the child knows how to manipulate you to get that electronic equipment. They will do things so that you will go, damn it, I need peace here.
They will
Don't
annoy you.
underestimate your child.
Okay, so the intention of giving them that, okay. Yeah, we can deal with that.
Yeah, we need to deal with that when we deal with addiction. But here's the last question that we've got time to deal with today. And this is what
Yes.
it is. Let's deal with secondary school kids. They're now in school. They've got all their lessons. They've got CCAs. And then they've got enrichment classes. How good or bad is that for kids?
They need what they need. Okay, so sometimes they need a little bit more help in certain
Right.
subjects.
Right.
But don't load their enrichment classes. Don't load their time in the day where it's just back to back. And I think the worst thing that a parent can do is to then also integrate a lot of activities like swimming or the sporting activities and say that, oh, this is recreation for the child, but the child is going for competitions or taking examinations. That is not restful for the child at all. Yeah, so we still need to integrate playtime into the schedule. So a lot of parents and children get very shocked when I say, in your entire schedule in the day, please block a time for play. And they stare at me. Why do we do that? Because if we don't do that, you will find children trying to steal time to play. And that's not what we want. We want to legitimize playtime. Okay, so everyone knows that time they can play, whether it is their devices, whether to do something that is recreational for them, that is non-examinable.
That's good.
Now that's very important. Yeah.
And how long is this period usually?
Well, it depends on the needs of the child. So an hour, 2 hours. Yeah, but
Okay.
parents are really worried when we put 1 to 2 hours. They go, but no time to study. But I always tell the parents and the child, if you don't give your brain some time to relax, no more data will go in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it comes to zero. Whatever studying you do is just zero.
Yeah. I put it another way. You need to give children time to be children.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Nice.
Otherwise, they're lost. They are lost souls.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Jerry, for joining us today.
No worries. So the next time we can talk about addiction.
Addiction.
Yes.
Electronic addiction.
Will do.
Let's do that. Let's do that.
And I just want to say, learning is an adventure that needs a trusting and a trusted companion.
Nice.
So go figure whether you want to be trusting or whether you want to be the trusted companion.
So tough.
Awesome. Tough.
Thank you so much, Jerry.
No worries. I'll see all of you next week with the new girl.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes. I'm glad you're looking forward to it. We certainly are.
I was thinking about it, but I cannot figure out who.
Shaun will text you later.
Oh,
I'll surprise you on the day before. I cannot trust you. Don't know who you'll tell them.
you don't trust me, Shaun. Okay, I'm gonna go.
Take care.
care.
Bye, Jerry.
Bye.
Bye bye.